All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon. What time is it? It's probably close to 12. So good afternoon. Wait a minute. Yep, closer to 12. Where usually that sun is about that time is around 12. I want to talk to everything. So I've been seeing a lot of gripe, and then I've also seen some really bad accidents and incidents happening in the dog training world lately, revolving around remote collars. Well, I want to talk to you about that. So, a lot of people don't like using remote collars. I know they have this bad rep of being very bad for dogs because you're shocking the dog. Well, first of all, most of the technology by highly professional remote collar manufacturers, it's not a shock. It's actually a muscle stimulator, basically based off of medical technology called a TENS unit. All right. When used properly, it is a very good training tool. All right. For instance, something came up to my knowledge, happened down towards Austin, Texas. I'm not going to bring up any, I'm not going to bash other training companies. I'm not going to bash, no bashing here. All right. But I am going to say one thing. A dog went into the emergency room because it had red sores across its neck. All right. And the lady says that she dropped this dog off for training, and she drops off during the day, picks up the dog at night after training. Well, she got the dog and had these sores on its neck. Now, United Canine, we do use remote collars here as well. Not strictly remotes. We use other training methods. We use any method that works best for the dog. But one of the things with remote collars that people fail to do is when they slap a collar on the dog, one, has to be properly fit. And I'm not going to go in all crazy trying to educate people how to put a proper, put the collar on properly. But I am going to say this. Every hour to 2 hours, depending on your dog, that collar needs to be moved. Why do you say? Is because, think about it. If you wear a watch or some kind of jewelry around your arm and it sits pretty snug, you take that watch off at the end of the day, all right, it's tender underneath, correct? Yes, because there's no oxygen. You sweat and stuff like that, it builds moisture, okay? What happens if you sit in a pool too long, right? Or in this case, out here in my training area, we're flooded all the way around. Your skin gets wrinkly and soft and easily can be irritated. All right. Same with a dog. If you put a collar on a dog so snug, it doesn't even have to be a remote collar. It could be a flat buckle collar, anything like that. All right. And if it's where air can't get underneath it, then the dog will start to sweat. It'll get irritated. Okay. Especially because they have hair. Hair starts to act like sandpaper. So it's very smart to take the dog, all right, off, or take the collar, move it around. Don't put it in the same spot. Move it up, move it down, all right? And make sure it's still snug enough to where the 2 points get connection, but not too tight where the dog can't breathe and air can't get underneath. There is a very happy medium right in the middle. All right. And the other thing with them is they don't go on the back of their necks. From ear to ear underneath. It's very crucial. Very, very crucial that people understand when you put a collar on, and even if it's a good training company and they tell people, hey, your dog's using a remote collar, all right, to make sure they move the box around every 2 hours or an hour, depending on your dog. All right. Can a dog wear it when they're running around in water? Yes. Most of the remote collars out there are waterproof or water resistant. Okay, water resistant, I probably wouldn't do it. Waterproof, yes. Okay, but the other thing you want to also do is quality. All right, so when you're purchasing a collar, don't go to Amazon, buy that $30 piece, excuse my language, piece of crap. All right, It's made from China, which right now you don't want to be ordering anything from China. You got the coronavirus. All right. But there are so many manufacturers here in the States that make really awesome products. All right. And they're not shock collars. Okay. They're all based off medical technology called a TENS unit. And I'm not making this a promotional video. But my favorite collar I like to use are sport dogs. A lot of your hunting dogs and all of them, they all use sport dog collars. All right. So shout out to my favorite company. That's who I like. You got Sport Dog, you got Mini Educator, you got Garmin, all these other dog collars out there, but they all have the same thing. You cannot leave it on the dog in the same spot for too long. The dog can wear it all day, but you have to move it. I can't stress enough about this. I see this happen all the time. All right, and it's either because of the client or it's because of the trainer. Educate your client to move the collar around. If the dog's in your care, even if that dog is sitting in a kennel with the collar on, which that's not a good idea to do either. But you could do it like if you're just putting a dog up for a second, that's fine. You could do stuff like that. All right, but remember if that like something comes up and you have a dog wearing a collar, to go out there or go wherever the dog is and move the collar, or just take it off if you're too busy. All right, let the skin breathe. A remote collar cannot burn a dog. That whole saying, I see that all the time. Oh my God, the remote collar is burning the dog. It's not burning the dog. It's irritating the skin because it's too tight or it's not being moved like it should. Those are two crucial points when it comes to a remote collar. This is more of a rant than a video, but I'm tired of seeing stuff like these posts. Dog trainers, if you're watching this video, move the damn collar. It's too simple. Every 2 hours, just move it. All right. Clients, mine or somebody else, or if you're thinking about using a remote collar, just remember to move the box. All right. Move it. Like if it's here, move it over here. But make sure the band's not over there, so you want to move it down just a little bit. I'm actually going to probably do a video on remote collars, and I'm probably going to talk to my favorite collar I like to use, and maybe get one of them to come in on this with me on this video. But if it's used properly, it's a great training tool. And I'm going to talk about another subject. We'll do another video on it, but we're going to talk about just remote collar training in general. Believe it or not, I was an anti-remote collar person. I used to work for a dog training company. Again, I'm not going to bring in names to this or anything, but I met the owner of that company and she opened up my eyes, and I will say her name, Robin. So if you're watching this, thank you for the education on that part. All right. She opened my eyes. And the reason why is, I went through the military. I was a trainer for the military, and, we were old school. We didn't use remote collars. And, every training I did prior to that, or coming to work for her, I had a thing against remote collars. And the reason why is because I thought it hurt dogs. I'm like, the dog doesn't understand what's going on, so why am I shocking the crap out of the dog? All right, why? There's no need. And she made me come out, watch a couple of training lessons, and I noticed she wasn't doing it that way. And so I started asking her questions, and I came on board with her because she showed me value behind it. For instance, I used to teach dogs to go find deer sheds. All right, that's finding antlers, and this is when I lived in Missouri. Well, I had a dog, and named Diesel. It was a lab pit mix, and he was awesome at it. We were searching a pole line, and this guy in a pickup truck was flying up the pole line, and my dog was in there. Now, my dog's wearing a bright orange vest. It's not hunting season or anything like that. All right, it's just a shortcut people try to take. It's a back road trying to cut a lot of traffic out. And, my dog found an antler. It was really excited. It's running down there. It could see me, and I'm like waving at it, trying to get the dog to do a directional over. But it was so distracted because it found something, and it was so excited to bring it back to me. All right, that it wasn't paying attention to what I had to say. All right, well, the guy ran over my dog. A lot more about that story, but we're not going to get into it. It was a very emotional moment for me. Guy got arrested because he said, oh, he thought it was a stray dog. So in the Missouri, or the county I was in, they do have a law, which I can't remember the county. It's outside Fort Hood, or excuse me, Fort Leonard Wood. And if you see a stray dog or anything like that, you can actually kill it. That's their law. So this guy thought it was funny to run over a dog, but the thing was, is that wasn't a stray dog, and it was wearing a bright orange vest. So the guy knew it wasn't a stray dog, and he also saw me there. I was also wearing orange because people do go out in these woods out there and do practice shooting. So I didn't want to be shot. So I wanted to make sure my presence was known and my dog's presence was known. But anyways, that happened there. Now I look at the remote collar and I'm like, man, if I had that, I could probably save my dog's life. Would have been able to snap the dog out of its distraction, get the dog to pay attention to me, shift the dog out of the road, and he would still probably be here today. Anyways, there is a value behind a remote collar training. There's nothing negative about it. And that's what I saw when I met this lady. And I do appreciate the eye-opener that she brought to me. I think she knows that. So that's a quick shout out to her. But anyways, remember people, remove the box, remove the collar. Don't leave it on your dog. If your dog's out there swimming in the summer, all right, it's okay for them to wear it while they're in the water if the collar requests it. I don't know if all of them are like that, but sport dogs, they can wear it in the water. They're bird dog collars and stuff like that. And so read the directions, but you have to move the collar around. Do not leave it in the same place. All right. Now, 2 hours might be too long for some dogs, so you also want to judge your dog. Like pit bulls and dogs that have like pink skin, they might be every hour to 45 minutes. All right. So make sure you're paying attention to your dog, because every dog's different. All right. Until next time, guys, do the right thing, keep the dogs trained, and I'll see you then.